The 8 daily habits that limit cognitive development. Cognitive development, the process through which individuals acquire, process, and utilize knowledge, is fundamental to personal growth, problem-solving, and intellectual achievement. It encompasses memory, attention, reasoning, and critical thinking, all of which are shaped by daily habits. While positive habits like reading, exercising, and mindfulness can enhance cognitive abilities, certain common behaviors can hinder this development, leading to diminished mental acuity, reduced focus, and impaired decision-making. This essay explores 8 daily habits that limit cognitive development, supported by scientific insights, examples, and practical implications, to provide a comprehensive understanding of their impact and encourage healthier alternatives. 1. Excessive screen time. The proliferation of digital devices has made excessive screen time a pervasive habit. Spending prolonged periods on smartphones, computers, or televisions, particularly engaging in passive consumption like scrolling social media or binge watching, can impair cognitive functions. Research from the Journal of the American Medical Association, 2019, found that excessive screen time in children and adolescents is associated with reduced attention spans and weaker verbal memory. For adults, a 2021 study in Nature linked heavy recreational screen use to decreased gray matter volume in brain regions responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. Example: consider an individual who spends 5 hours daily on social media. The constant influx of information and notifications overstimulates the brain's reward system, reducing its ability to focus deeply or retain complex information. This habit fragments attention, making tasks requiring sustained concentration, like reading a book or solving a problem, more challenging. Impact: over time, excessive screen time weakens working memory and executive function, as the brain becomes accustomed to rapid, shallow information processing rather than deep, analytical thinking. 2. Poor sleep habits. Sleep is critical for cognitive development, as it facilitates memory consolidation, neural repair, and emotional regulation. Chronic sleep deprivation or irregular sleep patterns disrupt these processes. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, adults need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night, yet many consistently get less due to late-night screen use, irregular schedules, or stress. A 2020 study in Sleep Journal showed that sleep deprivation impairs hippocampal function, reducing the brain's ability to form new memories and process complex information. Example: a professional staying up past midnight to work or watch shows may experience brain fog, slower reaction times, and difficulty learning new skills. Over weeks, this habit compounds, leading to reduced cognitive flexibility and creativity. Impact: poor sleep habits hinder neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and form new connections, limiting cognitive growth and increasing susceptibility to stress-related cognitive decline. 3. Sedentary lifestyle. Physical inactivity is another habit that stifles cognitive development. Exercise promotes neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, and increases blood flow to the brain, enhancing cognitive functions like memory and problem-solving. A sedentary lifestyle, characterized by prolonged sitting and minimal physical activity, deprives the brain of these benefits. A 2018 study in neurology found that sedentary behavior is associated with thinner brain regions linked to memory, particularly in older adults. Example: an office worker who sits for 10 hours daily without regular movement may notice difficulty concentrating or recalling details compared to colleagues who incorporate exercise. Over time, this habit can lead to cognitive stagnation, as the brain misses out on the cognitive boost provided by physical activity. Impact: lack of exercise reduces levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein essential for learning and memory, limiting cognitive development and increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. 4. Poor nutrition. Diet profoundly affects cognitive health. Diets high in processed foods, sugars, and trans fats can impair brain function, while nutrient-rich diets support cognitive development. A 2022 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets high in sugar and saturated fats are linked to reduced hippocampal volume and poorer memory performance. Conversely, diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins, e.g., Mediterranean diet, enhance cognitive function. Example: regularly consuming fast food, sugary snacks, or energy drinks can lead to blood sugar spikes and inflammation, which impair concentration and memory. A student relying on such foods during exams may struggle to retain information compared to one eating balanced meals with fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Impact: poor nutrition deprives the brain of essential nutrients, leading to oxidative stress and inflammation, which hinder cognitive processes like attention, memory, and problem-solving. 5. Multitasking. Multitasking, often mistaken for productivity, divides attention and reduces cognitive efficiency. The brain is not designed to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. Instead, it rapidly switches between tasks, leading to cognitive overload. A 2009 study from Stanford University found that chronic multitaskers perform worse on tasks requiring focus and memory compared to those who focus on single tasks. Example: an employee answering emails while attending a virtual meeting and browsing the internet may retain little from the meeting and produce lower quality work. This habit trains the brain to prioritize superficial engagement over deep processing. Impact: multitasking reduces the brain's ability to filter irrelevant information, weakens working memory, and impairs the development of sustained attention, critical for complex cognitive tasks. 6. Lack of mental stimulation. A lack of intellectual challenge, such as avoiding learning new skills or engaging in repetitive, unchallenging tasks, limits cognitive development. The brain thrives on novelty and complexity, which promote neuroplasticity. A 2017 study in Frontiers in Psychology showed that engaging in cognitively stimulating activities, like learning a new language or playing a musical instrument, enhances cognitive reserve and delays cognitive decline. Example: an individual who spends leisure time passively watching TV instead of reading, solving puzzles, or exploring new hobbies may notice stagnating problem-solving abilities. In contrast, someone learning to code or paint challenges their brain, fostering cognitive growth. Impact: without mental stimulation, the brain's neural networks weaken, reducing cognitive flexibility and the ability to adapt to new challenges. 7. Chronic stress. Chronic stress, driven by habits like overworking, ruminating, or neglecting relaxation, floods the brain with cortisol, a hormone that, in excess, damages the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, key areas for memory and decision-making. A 2021 study in neurobiology of stress found that chronic stress impairs working memory and cognitive flexibility, particularly in high-pressure environments. Example: a student constantly worrying about grades without practicing stress management techniques, like meditation or journaling, may struggle to focus during study sessions, leading to poorer academic performance. Impact: prolonged stress disrupts synaptic plasticity, reducing the brain's ability to form new connections and impairing learning, memory, and emotional regulation. 8. Social isolation. Humans are inherently social, and meaningful social interactions stimulate cognitive development by engaging emotional and intellectual faculties. Social isolation, whether due to lifestyle choices or circumstances, limits these interactions, negatively affecting cognitive health. A 2020 study in The Lancet linked social isolation to a higher risk of cognitive decline and dementia, as social engagement promotes cognitive reserve. Example: an individual who avoids social activities, preferring solitary screen time, may experience reduced emotional intelligence and difficulty processing complex social cues, impacting cognitive and interpersonal skills. Impact: social isolation reduces opportunities for cognitive stimulation through conversation, collaboration, and emotional exchange, limiting the brain's ability to develop empathy, perspective-taking, and problem-solving skills. Counteracting these habits. To mitigate the effects of these habits, individuals can adopt intentional practices to foster cognitive development. Limit screen time. Set boundaries, such as device-free hours or using apps to track usage, and replace passive screen time with active learning or hobbies. Prioritize sleep. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule, Create a relaxing bedtime routine, and avoid screens before bed to enhance sleep quality. Incorporate exercise. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity weekly, such as brisk walking or cycling, to boost BDNF and cognitive function. Adopt a brain-healthy diet. Focus on whole foods, including fish, nuts, berries, and leafy greens, while minimizing processed foods and sugars. Practice single tasking. Dedicate focused time to one task, using techniques like the Pomodoro method to enhance concentration. Seek mental stimulation. Engage in activities like reading, learning a new skill, or playing strategy games to challenge the brain. Manage stress. Incorporate mindfulness, meditation, or exercise to reduce cortisol levels and improve cognitive resilience. Foster social connections. Regularly engage in meaningful interactions, such as joining clubs, volunteering, or maintaining close relationships. Conclusion. Cognitive development is a lifelong process that can be nurtured or hindered by daily habits. Excessive screen time, poor sleep, a sedentary lifestyle, unhealthy diet, multitasking, lack of mental stimulation, chronic stress, and social isolation are 8 habits that limit cognitive growth by impairing memory, attention, and problem-solving abilities. By understanding their impact, supported by scientific evidence and real-world examples, individuals can make informed choices to replace these habits with practices that promote cognitive health. Embracing a lifestyle that prioritizes balance, stimulation, and well-being not only enhances cognitive development but also fosters a richer, more fulfilling life.